Hey, welcome back to Confidence in Christ with Kayla. Today we are in Matthew chapter 17, verse 20. Before I dive into it, though, I want to give you some context. So in the previous verses from 14 to 20, just to 20, it is Jesus healing a demon-possessed boy. And this man brings his son to Jesus, and he says, hey, I brought my son. He's throws himself into the fire, he's got a demon inside of him. Will you please help him? I brought him to your disciples before, but they couldn't do it. And Jesus, we see him kind of frustrated in this moment. He's like, how long do I have to stay with you people? Come on, it doesn't take much faith. And then we get down, his disciples ask him, why couldn't we drive it out? And this is his response in verse 20. He says, Jesus replied, because you have so little faith. Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to the mountain, move from here to there, and it'll move. Nothing will be impossible for you. So I find myself relating to the disciples a lot. I mean, these guys, they were just everyday people, just like us, just like this conversation. We're just normal. There's nothing special about us. We're not big theologians. Jesus picked a bunch of fishermen and kind of outcast rejects to be his close buddies. It's the coolest thing ever. It makes me feel so welcome. And he looks at him here and he goes, guys, listen, you couldn't run it out because you didn't have enough faith. How about this? The only amount of faith you have to have is the size of a mustard seed. And those are little. Honestly, when I was younger, I used to think man, that mustard seed must be pretty darn big, because I sure as heck don't have as much faith to move a mountain. And then now it's a popular thing to have jewelry with a mustard seed in it. It's super cute. And it made me realize that's a really tiny seed. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much faith at all. Now, I don't foresee myself, maybe God does, but I don't see myself needing to move a giant mountain. I'm kind of got a literal brain. So to me, I'm thinking here I am standing in front of this beautiful mountain, and I'm hey, you need to move. But what God's saying here is, I'm sure we could move mountains if we really wanted to, and that was God's will. But we have got so many mountains in our lives. Mountains and valleys that we have to get through. We climb these mountains and they're tough. And to move those mountains out of our way, those mountains of stress, anxiety, maybe it's work, maybe it's family life, maybe it's just getting through the day and getting up. We can move those things with God's help, with just a little bitty piece of faith, knowing that he will come through for us over and over again, being confident in who he is and what he is capable of and what kind of power we have access to through Jesus. He is everything. And right here, he tells us, he's telling the disciples, all it takes is just a little bit of faith. And you can do so many things. He actually says nothing will be impossible for you. Now, I'm not saying everything you set your mind to, you'll be able to do. We get what Jesus is saying here. Anything that we are following him in and we have faith that he will see it through, nothing will be impossible for us. Wow, what an amazing thing to just sit and relish in, right? I hope that gives you confidence today. I hope that whatever mountain you're facing, that you will face it with, if nothing else, the littlest bit of faith that you can muster up and go for it. Step up to that mountain with your God and claim your faith and trust him and move the mountain.